Japan, known for its advanced technology and rich culture, also hides a less explored side, full of deep social and cultural challenges. Behind the vibrant lights of Tokyo and the serenity of Zen gardens, there are issues that rarely come to public attention. Let's uncover these hidden aspects that are part of Japanese reality. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our daily videos. Welcome to the hidden side of Japan. This is a country of extremes, where modernity and ancient traditions coexist in a fascinating way. However, beneath this dazzling facade, there are shadows that reveal a reality often unsettling. Japanese society faces problems like intense social pressure, the phenomenon of hikikomori, young people who completely withdraw from the world, and one of the lowest birth rates in the world, which threatens the country's economic and demographic sustainability. These challenges are worsened by a culture that values conformity and harmony, often at the expense of mental health and individual well-being. Let's explore these issues together to better understand how they shape life in Japan. Behind Japan's impeccable facade lies a significant social issue: loneliness. Even surrounded by the constant hustle and bustle of big cities, many people feel isolated and excluded. This sense of loneliness can consume even the most resilient souls, deeply affecting the mental health of many Japanese. One of the most severe manifestations of this loneliness is the hikikomori phenomenon. These young individuals withdraw from social life, locking themselves in their rooms and cutting almost all ties with the outside world. Hikikomori is a Japanese term that means to withdraw or to isolate, perfectly describing the behavior of these individuals who completely disconnect from society. The reasons behind this isolation are varied and complex. Fear, anxiety, and intense social pressures are among the main factors driving many young people to become hikikomori. This behavior is not just an individual challenge, but a growing problem affecting Japanese society as a whole, creating silenced voices lost in the vastness of cities, but facing devastating loneliness in their own homes. Hikikomori is a term that describes a troubling phenomenon in Japan, where individuals completely isolate themselves from the outside world, living with little to no social contact. In 1998, psychologist Tamaki Saito introduced this term in his book, Hikikomori, Adolescence Without End, comparing this condition to a prolonged adolescence. In the book, Saito delves deeply into the issue, highlighting how it has been a part of Japanese society for decades. He discusses the underlying sadness linked to domestic violence, noting that many cases of social withdrawal are accompanied by episodes of family violence. Hikikomori is not just a simple preference for staying at home. It involves a complex set of factors, including family, school, and social pressure. For those suffering from hikikomori, their room becomes their universe. Often they spend their time exclusively playing games or browsing the internet, with most of their friendships being virtual. Social media and online games become their primary forms of interaction, creating a parallel reality where they feel safer and less pressured. Loneliness is one of the main complaints of Japanese people suffering from hikikomori. In extreme cases, this condition can debilitate a person so much that they lose the ability to perform simple tasks, like washing dishes or going shopping. The suffering caused by hikikomori often remains invisible and silent, becoming a growing concern for both Japanese society and the government. Tackling this problem and finding solutions for the future of Japanese youth, who often retreat into games in the virtual world instead of participating in real life, is a complex challenge. This is a deep issue that requires multifaceted approaches to understand and resolve. Japan is facing a serious mental health and suicide problem, especially among young people. In 2020, there were about 21,800 suicides in the country, averaging 60 per day. Although there has been a significant reduction of around 40% in the past 20 years, thanks to the efforts of NGOs like LiveLink, the situation remains worrying, particularly with the rise in suicides among minors. Japanese society, known for its intense social pressure, is one of the main factors contributing to these high suicide rates. The pressure to excel in school and work, combined with the stigma of seeking psychological help, worsens the situation. Additionally, social isolation, exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, has intensified feelings of loneliness and despair among the youth. In response, the Japanese government has been implementing measures to improve mental health support, including the creation of helplines and awareness campaigns. The constant pursuit of success is a hallmark of Asian countries, where conforming to social expectations and the intense pressure to excel in various areas of life place a huge burden on people. In Japan, the concept of gambar, symbolizing perseverance, hard work, and determination to overcome challenges, is highly valued. While this determination is admirable, it can create an environment of extreme competition and unbearable stress. Social pressure in Japan is especially felt in the academic and professional spheres. Students face fierce competition to get into prestigious universities and later into the job market. The culture of overwork, with long hours, can be stifling. The relentless pursuit of perfection and the fear of failure become heavy burdens for many to bear. Constant pressure can often lead to feelings of hopelessness and isolation. Many people feel unable to meet the expectations placed on them, resulting in feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and helplessness. Unfortunately for some, the situation becomes unbearable, and the idea of taking their own life seems like the only way out. All this social pressure, which starts in schools and continues throughout careers, creates extreme levels of demand and stress. This leads to a serious issue known as karoshi, which means death by overwork. In Japan, dying from overworking is a more common reality than you might think. This culture of overwork is fueled by competition and the need to meet social standards. Hard work as a symbol of Japanese work ethic began in the 1920s, during the country's rapid industrialization and militarization. This mindset was quickly passed down to subsequent generations, who grew up believing that their main goal was to become loyal and dedicated workers. This thinking created a highly competitive educational system in Japan. Japanese society values extreme dedication to work so much that many people end up trapped in a web of expectations and pressures. The commitment to work is so intense that many workers feel obligated to stay beyond normal hours, doing unpaid overtime. This work culture can lead to serious physical and mental health problems, like high levels of stress, exhaustion, and even severe illnesses. Besides the challenges people face, Japan's very nature is relentless and unpredictable. In Japan, the ground shakes frequently, tsunamis sweep the coast with fury, and dormant volcanoes awaken, spewing ash and chaos. This constant struggle between tranquility and imminent destruction is due to the country's location in a region of intense seismic and volcanic activity. Living in Japan means getting used to small daily tremors. For the Japanese, this is just part of everyday life, and the country is well prepared to handle these natural events. Earthquake-resistant structures and early warning systems are common, minimizing damage and saving lives. However, for foreigners, these phenomena can be terrifying. It's crucial to be aware of the risks and to prepare minimally for unexpected events. Knowing emergency procedures, such as evacuating to higher ground in case of a tsunami and taking proper shelter during an earthquake, can make all the difference. The seismic situation in Japan and its neighboring countries is alarming. Scientists and researchers warn of a high probability of a major earthquake hitting the country within the next 30 years. According to a 2016 study by the University of Tokyo, there's a 98% chance of a significant seismic event, known as the Great Kanto earthquake, occurring in the area where the Japanese capital is located. The last major earthquake in this region happened in 1923, with a magnitude of 7.8, causing the deaths of over 140,000 people. Although many Japanese people today haven't experienced such a catastrophe, it left a deep mark on the country's history. Experts are increasingly concerned about the possibility of a similar disaster happening again. Despite being well prepared and hoping that nothing serious will happen, Japan lives under the constant threat that a major earthquake could strike at any moment. The combination of preparedness and apprehension is part of everyday life for the Japanese, who learn from an early age how to deal with these natural risks. Japan and its neighbors in Asia live under the constant threat of natural disasters. But why doesn't the population panic? The answer lies in the meticulous preparation by the Japanese government and various institutions to tackle these situations. One of the main strategies adopted is the construction of resilient infrastructure. Japan has invested in advanced engineering to build earthquake and tsunami-resistant buildings and bridges. Additionally, Giant wave barriers and other protective measures have been implemented. Exploring how Japan handles these challenges reveals fascinating aspects of the country. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to check out our upcoming videos. A big hug, and see you next time.